So I'm walking to a place that's special to me. It's been important on my own personal journey with the Ogham, and I'm a few miles outside the city of Truro, capital city of Cornwall. I'm in the countryside and I'm walking down to a place called St Clement, and I'm going to show you a few little intrigues when we get down there. A good healthy walk though. I've been visiting St Clement now and then for the past 35 years or so. Probably first came here when I was about 20 years old, living in Cornwall with my mum and my sisters. Oop. Even the country roads are busy with traffic these days. Used to be much quieter 35 years ago. But St Clement, it's just a lovely little village on the riverside, and my mum and I used to come and collect firewood. Traffic. The old Cornish name for the land between St Clement and a neighbouring place called Moresk. The old Cornish name was Moresk, M-O-R-E-S-K, Moresk. And there's an old church here, and it has one of the few stones in Cornwall that had Ogham inscription upon it. But the Ogham inscription isn't there anymore, it's been worn away. I'll take you there and explain. Getting to Moresk, getting to St Clement Church is a bit unusual. You have to go through a couple of cottages, old red telephone box and a thatch. It's a quirky, lovely little village. The stone here in the churchyard didn't originate in the churchyard. It came from neighbouring fields, and I'll tell you its history in a minute when we get there. Old 1777 grave slabs, like 1784. So you come round this side of the church and you get to what is known as the Ignioc Stone. The Ignioc Stone, and here it is, now kept safe in the churchyard, and it's one of the bilingual Ogham stones, Vitalis, and a cross on top. See here it says Ignioc Stone. So, first of all, this stone didn't originally have a cross at the top. Archaeologists reckon that was added in the 12th century. And originally the stone wasn't in the churchyard, it was about a mile away in an open field. But if you didn't know that, you would think it's an old Christian cross belonging to an old churchyard. Now, if you look here, just below the windows, where it says Vitalis, that where the S bit is gone almost, the waistline of the stone is kind of pinched inwards, and that's where the Ogham writing used to be. I'll show you a diagram when I do the photo editing. In 1945, Irish-born Dublin archaeologist called Robert McAllister went around, published a book. He'd spent years going around the British Isles exploring all the stones that had Ogham inscribed on them, and this is one of the ones he did a rubbing from, and it's a bilingual stone. It has Latin and Ogham on it, which is very common in South Wales. Lots of bilingual stones in Wales and some in Cornwall. So you can look him up. The abbreviation for all his work is C, as in the third letter of the alphabet, CIIC. So the CIIC is his body of work studying all the Ogham stones of the British Isles. And CIIC stands for the Corpus Inscriptionarum Insularum Celticarum. That's old academics for you. The CIIC, and this is the Ignioc Stone. Dates to the 5th century, maybe the 4th century, and it remembers Vitalis, son of something like Tauriacus, would have been the grave of some Celtic warrior or landowner. Now you see why I like coming down to St Clement. We're back on the road outside the church now. St Clement is just a small village on a river, and the river is called Tresillion, the Tresillion River, and it flows out to the River Fow, out to Falmouth eventually. It's a tidal river. If the tide's out, it's just mud. The tide's in, the swans are swimming by. So I'm going to sit here and have a rest before I go for the riverside walk to the special place that helped my Ogham journey. But yeah, beautiful St Clement. There's an old boat there called Maid of the Mist. That's blackthorn blossom. Always have a piece of wood for whittling as you travel. I've got all my Ogham stakes there. I'm going to do a circle with them. So off we go. Now, between St Clement and a place called Malpas is a river walk, and it's called, look how muddy it is, the Denas Road. Denas is an old Cornish word for castle, or fortification really, because it's a very old word. So before there were Norman castles, there's an old spring here. Little old spring, holy well, flows out there into the river. So there was a castle, because it says Denas, and they call it Moresk Castle, or the Castle of Moresk, but no one knows where it was, and the archaeology hasn't been done really. It's just a place name. But between St Clement and Malpas is Moresk, so anywhere along the river here could be the location of the old castle. And the old castle of Moresk could be connected with Vitalis, who's remembered in the Ogham stone, the Ignioc Stone. So I'll turn off, turn back on in a while. Some proper old English bluebells. The old English bluebells curve to one side like that. There's a lot of places in England now have French or Spanish bluebells, but the English bluebells are much more dainty and curved to one side. This pathway is mostly oak and holly, great big holly trees. The white flowers are ransoms, what people call wild garlic. You can take the leaves and crush them. They smell like garlic, and you can add them to your salad bowl. And there's lots of primroses and bluebells and wild garlic. But you can smell the sea because it's a tidal estuary. Lovely bird song. That's why I'm not talking. Holly blossom. Tiny, quite early. But yeah, there'd be red berries in the winter. Look at that green. As I've been walking, the tide has been coming in, so the river is a proper river. It's not muddy, not mud flats. Very lovely. It's extra lucky to get here when the tide's in, otherwise you just got a big stretch of mud. But very beautiful. Where I'm going, there's a lovely bench and a chance to just sit under the trees by the river. Think your thoughts. There she is. Secret hiding place behind the gorse. Place to rest. Gorse behind me, always in bloom. The colours of Cornwall are black and gold. And they say the black is the granite and the gold is the gorse. The flowers are edible. You can put them in your salad bowl. River coming in. Not easy to photograph or film like this with one hand. I'm a bit shaky. This special place, I'll sit down on the bench and talk properly, but it's mainly oak trees, and we're in the days of oak, and they're just beginning to open. They're just beginning to unfurl their this year's new foliage. So I'm going to go up on the bench and talk a little bit about this special place of mine. Well, it's not mine, but you know, you love a place, it becomes yours, or you become it in a way, you know. Back on the bench. So the wind's picked up, so I'm not sure if it will interfere with the recording of the sound. So I've been coming here for 35 years, I suppose, and about 35 years. And in 2010, I won't go into details, but in 2010 I was quite broken-hearted, and I came here to sit and think my thoughts, and took up whittling wood, and that was kind of therapeutic for me at the time. And it also coincided with my dad, who's passed away now, had written a book called The Chronicles of Ogham. Book 1 exists, and it was based on the Ogham. So I was sitting here whittling wood and contemplating the Ogham, and very much my whole Ogham journey began from then onwards. And curiously, it was only a few years ago that I learnt about the Ignioc Stone being one of the very few Ogham stones of Cornwall. I didn't know that back in 2010, so it's just a lovely coincidence or synchronicity. And also just last year, I think it was, this field, which is where I often sit and think as well, this field, I found an old map of the area, and on the old map this field is just called Sanctuary. I thought that was really intriguing, because I've used that in my meditations with the Ogham and building my own internal Ogham grove and so on. So strange name for a field, you know. None of the other fields have interesting names like that. It's just on its own. It says Sanctuary. So I wonder if that's connected with the location of Moresk Castle, but who knows. But yes, since 2010, you know, gosh, that's 14 years ago. There's been many times when I come to Cornwall, I usually make a day out to here and have a sit and think for a while. And it's a place I return to in my contemplations and thoughts, a little sanctuary. And the field was literally called Sanctuary, which is amazing. So I'm going to go up into that field now and play with my Ogham stakes on my way to Malpas. a bit out of breath now. So I'm in the middle of the sanctuary field, and the grass is too long to do anything with my Ogham stakes. It's up to my knees. It's full of wild grass, burdock and butterflies. Not butterflies, sorry, buttercups. Buttercups seem early too, but yeah, gonna have to think of a plan B. So further along towards Malpas, there's some shaded wood where I can do something with my Ogham stakes, but this is way too long to stick them in the ground. So onwards to Malpas. Another view of the sanctuary field. When I was on the top, it was spitting with rain, and now it's nice and sunny. But yes, like I said, too long. The grass too long. That's all white blackthorn over there. Blackthorn blossom. The grass is too long to play with the Ogham stakes. So beautiful though. Very verdant. Lovely. So coming back here to the river walk, I'm going to carry on to Malpas. Hopefully the pub is open when I get there. It's Friday afternoon, about 3 o'clock at the moment. So more adventures. I've got a lovely path of wild garlic leading to an evergreen glade. Not sure what sort of evergreen trees they are. There's some sort of plantation, but it's always quite dry here, so I'll find somewhere not too far from the river walk just to play with the stakes, maybe hopefully make a circle. So in an ideal world, make an Ogham grove big enough to sit inside, and then you can sit inside your grove wherever you go. It's a lovely idea. Geography doesn't always let you do what you want to do. So I've made a small grove, and I'm going to sit beside it and think my thoughts, do my meditations. There's a lot this year. I'm a little bit behind getting the Ogham Grove Volume 5 journal done. Should be ready in the next few weeks. Oh, the sun, look at those shadows, brilliant. And mainly I'm busy sorting out the Ogham Grove Oracle deck. Got another 15 dryads to do before the end of June, all being well. That ray of sunshine was great. Cast shadows like a stone circle. And then later, I don't know, August, we're going to have another Ogham Grove gathering weekend. So lots to think about, lots to plan. Now I'm just going to sit quietly beside my grove, think my thoughts, and then go to the pub. But not yet. Not just yet.